Okay, while we're in a little bit of a weather delay, Carl Edwards is kind enough to come in and join us, and he drives the number 19 Xfinity Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, fresh off of his win at Bristol Motor Speedway last Sunday. And certainly that win propels him into the 2016 chase. Congratulations on that, Carl.
Thanks.
Talk about the excitement of that win. I know that was a big one for you. And just talk about how you hope to build upon that momentum now that we're at Richmond.
Yeah, that's really neat to win that race. It was a lot of fun, and the way our team's been working together has been great. And the win really just it's kind of the icing on the cake for us. I mean, we've been doing great. We've been able to rebound from problems during the races. We've communicated well, and we're off to a great start. So now, with the win, we can have a little bit more fun. We just get to go out and race for more wins, and we don't really have much to worry about. So it's a license to go have a good time.
Questions now from our most recent race winner, Carl Edwards. If you have one, raise your hand. We'll go in the back row. Back there in the corner. Chip's got one, I believe.
Carl, Chip Rier from 8 News here in Richmond. Could you talk about the Dash for Cash racing and Xfinity Series on Saturday and the change to day racing? Just Richmond International Raceway has been making a lot of changes to try and get fans in the stands here. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on both.
So as far as in the Xfinity Series?
And the day racing on Sunday.
I think the day race is going to be really good. The weather forecast looks great. It's going to be sunny. The track already, just in this practice, changed a lot from the beginning to end. I mean, it got really slick. I think that's going to be good. I can tell you firsthand, as a fan, I think the Xfinity Series has been putting on great shows. Last week at Bristol, I went up to the spotter stand to stand with Jason Hedleski, and I thought, I'll watch a couple laps of this Xfinity race and then go back to the motorhome. I stayed up there to the checkered flag. I mean, it was so entertaining. I mean, to watch Kyle and Kyle battle, and then for Eric to come through at the end like that. As a fan, that's the first full race I've watched in person in a long time. It was very impressive. So I think fans can expect to see more of that this Saturday.
Let's go with Sean back on the back row. Go ahead, Sean.
Carl back here. Sean Robertson, CBS 6 here in town. We've talked so much about the switch from Saturday night race to a Sunday afternoon race, but you guys raced last year in the spring here on a Sunday afternoon. Can you use anything from that race in preparation for this weekend's race, since you've already done it at least once?
Things change so quickly in the sport that I don't know that really a year ago applies too much. We got this new, better, lower downforce package. The tire, I'm not sure how different it is, but it feels different. I don't know the exact details of the differences, but it feels like we're just going to have a lot more fun race, a lot more grooves. I mean, and I'm not trying to sell tickets here. I'm telling you, I just sat in that race car, and that track is different from now to where it was an hour ago. So this thing's going to change a lot. I think you're going to see some really neat racing. But the day race, to specifically answer your question, I think the day race, a little more sun, a little more heat. It's going to be slicker, and that just puts it more in the driver's hands.
Let's go right next door to Mark. Go ahead.
Hey, Carl. Mark Davis, NBC 12 here in Richmond as well. Tony Stewart being back in the car this weekend is obviously a big headline for the series. Can you just discuss the importance of having him on the circuit, in the car, behind the wheel, from a NASCAR standpoint?
Well, I don't know about from the NASCAR standpoint, but from a competitor standpoint, Tony is one of the fiercest competitors in the sport. So to have him there and someone to battle against is fun for us. I've really enjoyed racing Tony, and it's good to see him back in the car. I think he adds a lot. Definitely makes it fun on the racetrack.
Let's go right now to Tom Jensen, and then we'll swing over to Dustin.
Hey, Carl, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. I'm going to try to not get you fined, but
thank you. I appreciate that.
Where do you fall on the lug nut issue?
What's the issue?
Does NASCAR...
So I think I haven't had I don't know that I've ever had a wheel fall off. And where I stand on it is that my guys, they understand what needs to happen to keep me safe and to keep a wheel on the car. And if my engineers and my pit crew and everybody agrees that it's good enough, then I'm okay with it. But NASCAR needs to do whatever they need to do, and I'm fine either way. It doesn't really affect my experience. Whatever they decide doesn't really affect me on the 19 team.
Swing over here to Dustin has a question, and then Holly.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. I have two questions for you. One, Carl, last night the Sprint Cup Drivers Council put out a statement. I don't know if you're aware of, just in support of Tony, just how they disagreed with the fine that NASCAR gave him this week. And I wanted to ask you, I know you're not a member of it, but was that kind of the role that you kind of envisioned, or the council in representing, you as a driver per se, and your feelings about that? And the second question I want to ask you about Talladega.
Yeah, well, the first one, I wasn't even sure who got fined, so I didn't read the statement, so I can't answer it. I'm not dodging your question. I just don't know what was said. So,
or I guess let me ask you this way: what do you feel is the role for the Drivers' Council in representing you as somebody who is not a member of that, but as a competitor?
Well, the way I understand the RTA and the Drivers' Council in NASCAR is that all of us, all three parts, want to work together to provide the best racing on the racetrack and to do the best thing for the sport. And that it appears from my understanding of what's happened so far and how things have gone, it's been working. That's it.
And I want to ask you about Talladega is, obviously at Daytona, all the Toyota cars, the Gibbs cars, and Furniture Road were able to work together and put yourselves in a good position. If you have a strong enough car, how likely is that to take place at Talladega, where it's a wider track, wider lanes? You still, if cars are able to get lined up and be that strong?
Man, I haven't thought about that yet. We haven't sat down and worked on our strategy, but I can tell you this, that Toyota teams, really led by Denny, I mean, we worked well together. It was something like I've never been a part of. So I don't know if that same type of thing will work at Talladega, but it'd be hard not to try. We've got a really good group that understands what teamwork is.
Other questions for Carl Edwards? Holly Kane.
Holly Kane,
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, NASCAR.com. I only have one question. Is there a plan for your team in terms of you got the win, so now we're going to do this, this, and this leading into the chase? How does that change things? What do you go into now?
If there's a plan, I don't know it yet because we haven't sat down and said, hey, now we can change this. But we did talk a little bit this week, and I mean, our plan is still to come here and to win the race and to do all the things that we were going to do before we got the win. But it just feels like some pressure is off, and everybody's a little more relaxed. And I can already tell just with the changes Dave made in practice and the way he approached practice, he's able to roll the dice a little more and not worry about making a mistake. When you're racing for points, when you don't have the win, you are racing for points, and when you're doing that, you have to just be careful. And now we get to really just go have fun. I mean, it's Saturday night or Sunday afternoon racing for us, and we're going to have some fun with it.
Let's go back in the back. Go ahead. Back on the back row if we could get a mic over there. Thank you.
Hey, Carl. Hello, Carl. Just following up on that one. Dover coming up. By the way, Matt Pensick, WBOC Salisbury.
Awesome, you're doing that and the camera.
I know.
That's really good.
Trump's in our coverage area, so I lost my camera guy.
That's awesome.
Following up on Holly's question, though, with Dover coming up, Dover's in the chase. Do you hope to do a little bit more, focus on what will work in the fall at the spring race?
I guess now our focus is, winning that championship. So if there's anything we can do to try to prepare ourselves for the championship better by, trying different strategies or trying different setups or restart gears or whatever we can do, we will try it. But we're never going to pass up a chance to go out and win races. And Dover's one of my favorite racetracks. So, hopefully we can just go there, figure out how to win both of them.
Any final questions for Carl Edwards? Carl, thank you for coming in here today, and congratulations again on the win last week, and good luck
man.
this weekend.
All right, thank you. Thanks, guys. Have fun.